Age of War, a game of conquest in feudal Japan for 2 to 6 players. So this is a small little board game. It's more of a card game actually, that uses dice and cards. Comes in this nice small little box. The instructions are just 2 sides of a piece of A4. And what it is a game that you play by rolling dice. It's a dice allocation game with a bit of push your luck. And it's, overall, excellent game. Very, very fun. I've played it a couple of times now. Obviously, I played it on my own, first of all, just to sort of get an idea of the rules and things. But I've played it with a group of 3 players. It says it's 2 to 6. I played as a 3 and it was great. I can imagine 2 being still good, but I would say the more players, the better. So the way the game works is you have these cards here which represent castles throughout Japan. So the game is set in the Sengoku Jidai period. So you have these different castles here, and the colours represent the different clans. So there's basically sets of cards that you can capture, and you can see the symbols on the cards match those on the dice. So the way the game works is when it's your turn, you roll all 7 of the dice, and you're trying to fill out different lanes on these cards. So for example, we have the Kumamoto card, which has 2 daimyo symbols, 1 archer symbol, 1 cavalry, and 4 infantry, which is represented by the katanas. So you roll the dice, you pick a card that you're going to try and capture, and then you pick a lane on that card and you try and fill the entire line or lane. So for example, if I only rolled 1 daimyo head, I could fill 1 space on the Kumamoto card, but then I would have to roll again to try and get another daimyo head. I can't just put an archer down and a cavalry and the swords. Even if I'd rolled them, you have to fill 1 row at a time. So that's the way the game works. If you can't place anything on a card, then you can re-roll, but you have to lose a dice. So eventually you run out of your forces, basically. That's what the dice represent. Your forces become weak by the end of the campaign season, and play passes to the next player. Once you've captured a card, it comes into your hand, and you now own it, but not permanently. Other players can try and capture cards. Some cards have an additional daimyo symbol in the top left, which is red. That is an extra symbol which other players must roll if they're going to capture it from another player. So it makes it slightly harder to recapture certain castles. Once you've collected all castles that belong to a particular clan, they are then yours permanently. You flip them over and you earn the number of points that is assigned to owning all of the cards from that clan. It's always more valuable to own all the cards of a particular clan. But if you don't, then the card, the number printed on the face of the card is the number of points that you get. At the end of the game, which is when there's no more castles left in the middle of the table, everyone tallies up their score and the person with the highest points wins. Very simple game, but actually really, really fun. I was surprised at how much we enjoyed it in the game that we had. There was a lot of excitement, even though mechanically there's not a lot going on. You're just rolling dice and placing things. But where it gets really interesting is when there's that dynamic that you're deciding whether you want to try and go for a castle that's still neutral and is in the middle of the table, or whether you want to try and capture one of your opponent's castles that they control. Perhaps because you only have 1 card left to complete a set, or you don't want them to complete a set, so you want to try and hamper their objectives. Excellent game. Really highly recommend it. The only trouble is it can be a bit difficult to get hold of now. But I was able to buy this one earlier on this year. I managed to find a shop that was selling it online, so it's not impossible to sell it. But as far as I know, it has been out of print for a little while now. Hopefully Fantasy Flight or someone else, if they can get the rights to it, can bring it back into production, because it is an excellent game, one that I highly recommend. So that's all for this review. As I say, recommend the game. It's excellent. If there's any others like it that you think I would enjoy, then please do let me know in the comments. Otherwise, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.